Joshua Ned, he's got a couple of problems. Sounds like he's stuck in a rut, and he's also having problems coming up with his own thing. I'll just read a bit from his email here. It just says here, in my church, we mainly do contemporary worship, and it seems as if I'm stuck with my drumming, or maybe I'm so stickler in just doing the same old triplets and dynamic-based chops. I want to learn something new with my drumming, and I want to know if there's a specific feel in gospel drumming that I don't know about that's keeping me back from my real potential. He wants to know how to create his own chops and grooves and what goes on in my head when I'm coming up with my own thing. Well, first of all, man, you answered your first question by asking your first question. If you are feeling stuck in your own thing, you want to learn something new, then get into something new. The biggest reason why a lot of drummers get stuck in these ruts is that, they're only practicing one particular type of thing, right? And they're not really introducing new ideas or new things into their practice. Now, there's nothing new under the gospel sun. As long as you know about 16ths, 30 seconds, and triplets and how to play them and how to distribute them, you're pretty much tapped out. There's nothing else to know there. So there's nothing really, holding back your potential in that respect. Now, let me jump to your second question, answer that one, and then I'll backtrack and see if I can help you out. As far as what I think about when I'm playing fills and grooves and, being able to come up with my own thing, the only thing that I'm really thinking about whenever I'm playing through a song or any other situation is I'm just making sure that I'm playing the right thing at the right time in that particular moment. Now, that's a bit of an easy answer for me. That doesn't really help you out much. I realize that. But the question would be, how do I know what to play? How do I know how to come up with the fills? How to come up with the grooves, blah, blah, blah. And the answer to that question, that's going to hopefully answer your question, is that I've been playing for over 25 years. So my vocabulary is pretty huge. The reason why you're having trouble coming up with grooves and fills and stuff is because your vocabulary is limited. And the only way to expand that is to introduce new genres and new drummers into your practice. I wouldn't have been able to develop my own style without first listening to a bunch of other drummers. Your ability to react to certain situations while you're playing through a song, coming up with a particular fill or this or that, will have a lot to do with something that you've heard another drummer do previously. I've stolen a ton of ideas from drummers like, Dave Weckl and Stuart Copeland and Carter Beauford. And, depending on what artist I'm playing with or what style of music that I'm playing, I'll channel different dudes. And it's funny because sometimes other drummers will come up to me after, I get off the stage or a performance or whatever. And sometimes they'll comment, that thing that you did on the hi-hat, that sounded a lot like Stuart Copeland. And say, you listen to a lot of Dave Weckl, don't you? I'm like, well, yeah, I do, actually. But that's how you develop your own thing. That's how you get ideas. You'll be able to take a snippet from a fill that this drummer played and sort of, insert that idea into your own thing. But the most important thing is this. You have to sort of separate the two. As long as you spend enough time working on your technique, forget about all the different styles and all that other kind of stuff. All you have to do is develop your technique and, make sure that you know your alphabet. Make sure you can play all of your subdivisions and play them well. Wholes, halves, quarters, eighths, 16ths, 30 seconds, and then all the relative triplets. Make sure you do all of that stuff, okay? Because you're not going to be able to copy other drummers successfully until that is well developed and your hands are well developed and you can articulate yourself on your own. And then as you continue to practice, you get more experience. You start to mix different things in, different ideas from different drummers, and you sort of mold your own particular style. And during that process, you learn things about how other drummers handle similar situations. So when I play through ballads, for instance, I love how Vinny Colaiuta plays ballads. Like, he's very tasteful in how he does certain things. So I took a lot of ideas from him. So if I'm playing with an artist and I'm playing a ballad, a lot of little things that I play, how I play the ride, how I play this little fill, how I decide to just hit a floor tom and leave it alone, that kind of thing. Those ideas are the kind of stuff that you get from other drummers. But unless you're listening to other drummers, you're not necessarily going to be able to come up with that kind of stuff on your own. So that's the long and short of it, man. You just have to listen, just get into something else. If you're, playing a lot of one particular thing, to just stop listening to that for a while and introduce some other genres and some other drummers into your practice. And then from there, just play along with that kind of stuff and just get used to how those guys are doing things and incorporate those ideas into your own thing. And that's how you develop, your particular style, and that's how you get ideas on how to play different grooves and different fills and all that stuff. But through all of that stuff, just make sure at the same time that you're working on the basics, being able to play through all your subdivisions, working on your hands, working on your coordination, and that will just help you to execute the ideas that you stole from these guys better.